Warm welcome you with us here on Headlines today, and we are at the Honda Pavilion at the 11th Auto Expo, the largest expo of its kind on this side of the world. And trust me, I've been having a great time since 8 in the morning, and we've been seeing some brilliant launches. Before I talk about the launches, let me also introduce our guests of honor with us. Dilip Chhabria, the man needs no introduction, and you've released an amazing car. We'll talk about Avanti in just a bit. And Yogendra Pratap from Auto Build. Thanks for joining us. We'll of course take your pick as to what is the launch to watch out for. But before we go across to Dilip and Yogendra, let's take a quick look at the big launches that we saw today. Of course, it was Nissan showing its muscle power perhaps, because not only did they get Ranbir, but they also unveiled their future plans when they showed us the Elivia, which is also a little bit of a people mover. So clearly Nissan at this point of time making sure that its presence is felt in India. They have shown us more concept cars, and they will go forward with the aggressive growth strategy. So if you thought that the Micra was then the end of the story, well, they have a lot more planned out as far as Sunny is concerned, the diesel version is concerned. Let's also take you through exactly what we witnessed at the Hyundai stall. We've all seen the various forms of Sonata, the old ones, the off-late new one, but what we saw today was of course keeping in line with the fluidic design, the new Sonata. And this was not a concept car, although it did look a little bit like that, very futuristic styling and designing like a maple leaf. But we will see the Sonata on the road very soon. Also, Hyundai very interestingly showed us its Hexaspace concept small SUV. Very interesting concept. Configurable seats, that of course will take some time to come into India. Suzuki obviously having a thing or two up its sleeve. Suzuki also actually showed us its concept SUV, the XA. That is something quite futuristic to look at. Young urban entrepreneurs, as people who want to really explore, don't want to live in a cubicle, those sort of people. Yamaha, guess what? Again, you had John here, and John just went on and on talking about Yamaha. He actually asked the MC to ask him to shut up, otherwise he will go continue to talk about Yamaha all through the day. Very, very passionate about biking, and he was obviously very enthralled to be there with Yamaha. Yamaha, as a matter of fact, also had a female version of aspiring to the female spirit. Yamaha scooter, but that had an appeal of a motorcycle. And of course, last but definitely not the least, Harley Davidson. And what a rocking star they have. They've got two new, the Street Bob and the Super Glider. So two new CKDs being introduced in India. About 10 lakh rupees it'll cost you a pop, but for 1,600 cc's, that's of course a money well spent. So we'll talk about this. We'll also talk about how we are witnessing a bursting forth of so many mini SUVs, smart green SUVs. Is that the future? Well, perhaps Auto Expo showed that to us. But before that, let me go across to Dilip Chhabria. Many thanks, sir, for joining us here on Headlines today. What we want to know from you is that you launched a brilliant car today, the Avanti. Amitabh Bachchan came and inaugurated it. But for once, perhaps even Amitabh Bachchan was not the center of attention. It was the car. Just take us through exactly the thinking, the philosophy behind this amazing car. And is this time Dilip Chhabria only designing, or is he actually manufacturing and selling a supercar?
Okay, to state it upright, this is the transformation of the company from a bespoke design or a custom builder to a specialist car manufacturer. So the car will go through its paces of regulation and what have you. So it's going to be like any other car produced in the world. Having said that, we as companies always have to look out for segments to grow. Primarily segments where a manufacturer will not or cannot enter.
Okay.
Will not because of viability, cannot because of skills or whatever. And this was one segment where we felt with the increasing lifespan that Indians have, yes, the fact that your luxury car segment costing 25-30 lakhs is 22,000 units this year, cars costing 1 crore and above are 1,000 numbers this year. We felt that if we could really engineer and create a car that for all purposes really competed with the Ferraris and Lamborghinis of the world in the truest sense, from the dimensions, quality, fit and finish.
Competing with a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, then obviously Indians will say, kitne ka? I'm not saying mileage kitna deti hai.
Yeah.
I'm just saying how much. A lot of cars that we saw today, the manufacturers were not willing to give us a figure because it's a concept car. You're saying this is not a concept car,
no,
this is reality. How much?
I'm saying 25 lakhs. I'm saying if you disregard that the Ferrari comes with double the power, which you're never going to use in any case. In fact, no Ferrari's power can be used anywhere in the world because it's illegal to do so. So having said that, if a customer can get that kind of a car for 25 lakhs, I think it makes a good business case, and that's what we are hoping for.